Hey guys, John Aiken here today from Web Canopy Studio, and I wanted to share with you some ideas I had around creating more sales opportunities within the next 30 days. So I think the biggest thing that you guys have to realize when you're trying to create opportunities inside of your sales funnel is it's not about going out and finding new leads usually. Now, if you have no leads, that's a different story. It's about utilizing the database you already have. Okay. Now, let me give you an example. Most of the contacts that we talk to have anywhere from 2,000, 5,000, 20,000, sometimes 100,000 contacts inside of their database. And maybe they're people that they marketed to in the past. Maybe they're people that have come in from trade shows or previous experiences, but they are leads in their database that either have gone cold, they're not being worked at all, they're just kind of sitting there and being stagnant. So you guys have to realize that inside of that database, if you have any numbers over, let's say 2,000, you absolutely have gold inside of that database. You absolutely have deals that you can work. It's just about how to find them and how to prime them in order to get them to warm up. So the 4 steps to create more sales opportunities in the next 30 days. Number 1, the first thing you want to do is pretend like these people have never heard from you before. What is the best way to get in front of them? Obviously, if you could give a presentation to them, if you're speaking at a conference, you're going to have the ear of all these people who are going to be like, oh my gosh, this guy gave a great presentation, right? And so how do we mimic that, especially in the remote world that we're in today? And one of the best ways to do that is by actually putting together a very high impact webinar that is short. You got a lot of high energy on that webinar, and it solves one of their biggest problems for them. So if you can put together a webinar that is just geared and oriented towards the biggest problem that they have in their industry or in their job, you will absolutely get people's interest that want to pay attention to what you're going to say. So that's step 1. Step 2, now instead of just sending them that and say, hey, I want you to sign up for my webinar, of course, no one's going to sign up for that. You have to create 4 to 5 emails that are going to be really engaging, really piquing their interest, really going after the kind of information that they need to have solved. So you're going to create 4 to 5 emails in like a workflow or some kind of sequence to invite these guests to attend your webinar. Okay. Step 3, in that webinar, of course, it's got to be high impact. It's got to have a lot of energy. It's got to be awesome. But at the end of that webinar, you have to make sure that you provide a really valuable call to action for these people. One of the biggest mistakes that I've ever seen people do is they get 10, 20, 100, 500 people to show up for this presentation. And they say, here are some things you need to know. Here are some things that I want you guys to check out. And it's really boring. And then let me know if you have any questions. That's a dud. No one's going to book a call. No one's going to convert. You literally have to use that webinar to amp people up, to get them excited and to be like, man, this guy really knows what he's talking about. So at the end, once they're already kind of primed, you put a call to action in place, okay? And it needs to be something different than just book a demo with our sales team, because no one's going to do that. That's not exciting. What you want to do is think about something like, let's get the CEO involved and let's say, you know what, this has been such an impactful webinar. At the end of this webinar, our CEO is actually going to do 5 deep dive exploration calls, and he only has time for 5. He's a busy guy. So he's going to do 5 calls. And if you want to get on his calendar, you need to fill out this form. It's a no commitment. We're not asking you to buy anything. We're going to go through 5 deep dives of your tech stack or of your problems or whatever it might be. And it's a chance for our CEO and you to get some one-on-one time. Now, that is a fantastic way to provide scarcity, to provide excitement, to provide an opportunity that they can't get if they just go to your website, right? So that's a very unique way to get people to book a call. So something like that, that's different than just book a call. You can book it on our website. That's boring. No one's going to do that. The 4th thing, you have to create an impeccable follow-up sequence. Studies show that people have to be engaged or hear a message like 9 times before they even take an action. So a lot of the times, and when we do webinars, our follow-ups are 4, 5, 6 emails long that might be a little bit more a little bit closer in action at the beginning, and then kind of spaces out. But we're also including things like some personalized phone calls from our sales team. We're going to include some personalized reaching out on LinkedIn. So we want to make sure that we're really capitalizing all the different avenues that we can to have this awesome, impeccable follow-up to remind people of this opportunity to book calls with your CEO, or whatever that special opportunity is. And again, make sure that we're providing that scarcity. We're making people realize, hey, this is something that is unique and it's special specifically to you. A few last things for this webinar, which you really want to make sure it's not about your product or your service. That's like a red flag. If you're talking about the 3 ways to use, insert your product name here, that's a bad idea. Maybe for some people that's a good idea, but if you're trying to warm up a completely cold audience, they don't know who you are, so they're not going to want to learn about your product. You want to talk specifically about their product or about their problem. And then when you're inviting people, this is the last tip, and then I'll leave it with this. Make sure you're making it exclusive. This is an invite-only special event. You cannot find this on our website. You cannot find this on social media. We chose you, Mr. Prospect, because you fit the kind of people that we think are going to get the most benefit out of this high-impact webinar. So we wanted to invite you. So that's it, guys. Those are 4 steps to create more sales opportunities in 30 days. I hope it's helpful. Let me know if you have any questions. Thank you. Guys, my name is John Aiken. Thank you so much, and we'll see you next time.